Okay, I had to come out and talk about uh, some more thoughts that, I was thinking on my way back from taking, my walk. And this is about, our economy and how come people are saying, the economy is failing, the economy is failing. Well, we have a lot of cheaters. They don't look like cheaters, but they're specialized con artists, right? These are the people who will make money in one community and live in another community, right? They all do it, right? So many of them do it, right? We knew about, how people would make money off of the poor, but they live in rich societies, right? What they have taught people was that, if you can go to somewhere else and make money and live in a more comfortable society or environment where you can, keep more of your resources, then, you have more of a chance of keeping more of your disposable income. And then when you have enough disposable income, then you can start becoming an investor, whether that's buying up land, playing the stock market, etc., etc., etc. However, the Europeans can't really do that too much because if they was to go back home, right, we all know the euro is of higher value than, say, the American dollar. So they would automatically be taking a cut. That's why most Europeans, they won't go back, back to Europe because to them that's a loss, of like 75% just in the money exchange alone. Okay? So what a lot of them will do is they'll go to developing countries. The developing countries, their income is similar but reversed. So what people are trying to do now is they're trying to make money in America and then go and live in a developing country, right? And they don't want these governments to tax them because as a resident, you're supposed to pay taxes on your country of citizenship and your country of residency. Okay? A lot of them aren't doing that. And a lot of them are hoping to bamboozle society into thinking that, oh, they shouldn't be, in prison for tax fraud. Right? Because, they were doing business, in a city, based off of higher commerce, which means you can charge higher for your services while living in another city where, the cost of living is cheaper. So this is some of the things that, we have experienced, going on in our society where, through knowledge that there are people who think, well, they're going to find a way to beat the system. And then when they get caught, they don't want to suffer, any consequences, right? Because these business people, they're supposed to be paying taxes in the city in which they do business on a quarterly basis. And they're also supposed to be paying taxes in their own community, but they're not, right? So you can best believe that there's going to come a time when the IRS is going to catch up with these people and say, hey, you haven't been turning in your quarterly taxes. You've been fraudulent on your taxes. You've been writing too many things off as expenses, and they're not really expenses. This traveling back and forth to do business, they're going to find out that wasn't, to do business, but it was actually, the transportation that they were utilizing, because they lived in one city and was traveling to another city. And that's not what, that's not how they're claiming the taxes. Okay. So this has been going on, the government is aware of it. They're starting to see that, even the people that was working remotely, they were getting paid according to the cost of living for that city, and yet they were moving into, cities that, didn't have those kind of, cost of living or taxes, right? I knew this was something that happened even when, 30 years ago? 30 years ago, I was working for Alamo Rent-A-Car. And when I transferred with the same company, got a promotion to sales manager, right? And yet, I had to take a $500 a month pay cut. I'm like, how is it that I get a promotion to another city with in the same industry and still have to suffer a $500 pay cut? And this is when they had brought to my attention about the cost of living. This was 30 years ago, mind you. Now, here we are 30 years ago, we're seeing this being played out in different ways where people are trying to finagle, the cost of living. We even see it with different immigrants, right? We have the people from Mexico who live, substantially, lower cost of living environment, come to America to make money, right? And then go back with their earned money to develop and create the lifestyle that they want to create, that they could not have created had they had stayed where they were at. You understand? And I just wanted to say that because we have a lot of people that work remotely. We have a lot of people who work online, and a lot of these people that work online, are getting paid differently because of the cost of living, right? I was watching this YouTuber. She's a traveler, and she had to figure out, how to get the most bang for her bucks, right? She came from Kenya, very well known. She came from Kenya. When she was in Kenya, yes, she was making money according to, her country. But when she started traveling is where she started to realize that when she traveled and she went to different areas of the world, that she would make more money. Now, true enough, there's a lot of different factors involved in that, right? Because she could travel to Europe and, of course, you know, she would get, you know, a certain amount of money because of, the numerous views that she would get from all over the world. However, you know, she wasn't getting what would be equivalent to the euros. She had to pay more money to be in Europe, and her viewers were coming from other parts of the world that weren't under the the euro economy. So she was getting paid by people of other money. You understand what I'm saying? So it wasn't to her benefit, even though she may have wanted to be in Europe, but she would be living in Europe getting paid by a population of people who may have been in, the dineros or, I don't know all the names of the different monies of the world, but I know the euro is the money that's on top, that has the highest value. I think they dropped down to like 8th place in the world. That there are other countries out here that actually their money is higher than the dollar. Now, America used to be, in top place, but they're not anymore. I found my light was thrown on the floor. I don't know why. But we put it back up. And I just wanted to say that because, we have a lot of people that have moved out of New York and they're working remotely or online, and they're moving to other places where, the cost of living is cheaper, hoping to, make or save more money, yeah. Think about that when you're watching these people from different neighborhoods and who have relocated here or there, and, keep an eye out on them, because if you're going to another country and you're a citizen of one country, you're definitely going to have to pay taxes in both countries. I learned that because I did my research, right? I'm semi-retired, and I was like, okay, where can I go and still get my Social Security, and tell me some details about it. Okay, so if I'm semi-retired and I move outside of the country to live in another country, I'm still going to have to pay, income tax to America. And I'm going to have to pay taxes where I decide to reside, unless I find a program. Now, they do have, programs out there, especially for senior citizens, to go and populate certain areas where, they get tax breaks. But those tax breaks are not based off of becoming a resident, a permanent resident, or having dual citizenship. Okay? Yeah, there's nowhere free on the land. Talk to you later. Bye.